Hey guys, Foxdrop here with another game commentary. This game is a pre-played game. This is not a live commentary. This is a game that I'm watching back in the LoL Replay Spectator or client. This game we were playing as Pantheon Jungle, and I thought this was a good game to showcase kind of the snowballing nature that Pantheon can have, and just really how to play Pantheon in general. So for my runes and masteries, this game I am AD reds, AD Quints, Armour yellows, and magic resist blues. I don't really suggest deviating too much from that. Maybe getting some armor pen if you really want to, but I don't think you really need to stay away from AD because Pantheon has a lot of AD ratios. He's got an AD ratio on his E, and more importantly on his Q, and so you don't really need to get away from that. Your Q is on such a low cooldown that it's basically an auto attack. I mean, it's not quite an auto attack. Okay, it's nothing like an auto attack, but the fact that you're using it quite frequently, it's that kind of thing. It's consistent magic damage. Not magic damage, sorry. Consistent physical damage. So you really want that to do as much damage as possible, and because it has an AD scaling, you can shove some AD in there to help that out. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to close some things, making my frames drop. Yes, so sorry about that. So this game, like I say, with Pantheon, I'm starting at my red buff here because that is the buff that is closest to my bottom lane, which means I'm going to get the most amount of help possible by taking away this red buff, because the support and the AD carry can help me out with this. If I started at blue, then that would mean that LeBlanc would have to help me out, and she's not really going to give me as much help as this bot lane is, and also if she does give me too much help, if she has to stay longer because she doesn't have as much damage, then she may miss out on some CS in the top lane. And we don't want that to happen because you always want to stay ahead in levels when you're in top. So going over to my blue buff here. The reason why I'm taking my blue immediately is for mana. Basically, I feel like I'm going to have mana issues on Pantheon. So I'm going to slow this down ever so slightly. Basically, the way that I leveled up my W second, and what I do when I'm taking away the buff here is that your W refreshes your shield, your passive. So you want to be using that to take as least amount of damage as possible. So the big golem hits you, it breaks your shield, and then you jump on them, and then that refreshes your shield, and so when they hit you again, you take no damage again, and that just helps with your clearing with your health. But you'll see here, even with blue buff, I'm running pretty low on mana, which is not good, obviously, but with the blue buff regen, I should be fine. So I'm kind of just looking for things to do, places to go. This top lane is not really looking too good for me because I can't gank that Shyvana, she's too pushed. Mid looks decent, but we see Elise is there, and at level 3 I feel like Elise is probably stronger than me, or at least it is going to be very, very close or very, very even, enough for me to be afraid. But I see that Elise has run away, so now we're going to go in for a gank here. Ziggs flashes my stun, so he doesn't have his flash up anymore, and now I've got red buff, so he's not going to get away from me, and because Gragas flashed in as well, that was a fairly easy gank. I mean, this is pretty much just Pantheon's bread and butter right here. This is what you do on Pantheon. You run up to people, you stun them, and you just beat the crap out of them. And if you've got that red buff, the fact that your W is the gap closer, it's really easy for you to apply that red buff, and it's just perfect. Now, I'm looking for Elise in the jungle here. Really, I was just looking to counter jungle Elise. I wasn't really looking for her specifically, but her race were down. So move up to her golems and take that away. And now I'm looking to see if I can do anything onto this Shyvana. If she pushes out a little bit, we'll probably be able to get at least a decent amount of damage off onto her. And she does that, so we get to go in. Because she is silenced, because LeBlanc has a crazy silence duration, she doesn't get to flash for a very long time, and then I can just finish her off with my Q. Your Q does a lot of damage to people if they are low on health, because it applies the crit chance on your E. So that means that if they're low on health, you chuck your spear at them, and they get crit, and they just take loads and loads of damage. So already, we're 5 minutes into this game, and I've got a kill in mid, and a kill in top lane. And both of these laners are people that can probably snowball quite hard, especially LeBlanc, and, well, both Gragas and LeBlanc can get pretty scary if they get ahead. And it helps me out as well, because then I can snowball quite hard too. But I'm just going to keep clearing, farming / clearing equals climbing apparently. I'm going to keep clearing my jungle just so I don't fall behind. I've bought a Spirit Stone, 2 longswords, which is going to build into my Spectral Elder Lizard, and 3 health potions because Pantheon has no sustain, so that can be a bit difficult. But I'm just moving around here. I actually wanted to gank bot lane through the river, but pathing took me a weird route, so I ended up running nowhere, and that was not very helpful, but still. But now I'm looking to see if I can get anything going bot lane. This is a pretty easy lane gank for us because Pantheon can grab someone, so this should be fairly easy if he can get someone. However, Elise is also coming down the river here, which we see, so we decide not to do anything here. We don't want to be engaging in that. You don't want to be engaging in that 3v3 fight because their bot is stronger than our bot, and I'm not really that much stronger than Elise. I would say that I definitely am stronger than her, but not to the extent where I'm massively bigger than her and that any kind of fight we have, I'm going to have loads of impact and she's going to have none. That's not going to be the case. So we have to just back away there. We don't want to risk it. We don't want to do anything scary like that. And now because it's 7 minutes 10 or around that time, my second buff is going to respawn, this red buff. So I'm just going to take this away, and I should be level 6 here, which means that right now I can either use my ulti to go somewhere, and I'm already looking, like right here, I'm going to pause, oh I can't pause, but right here I'm already looking at mid lane, because I remember this happening, I don't even clear out my second red buff here, so I'm actually going to just rewind very, very slowly. Once you have your ulti, you always want to be keeping an eye on things, and I'm right here, this is my POV in game, like I see Ziggs is kind of pushed out a tiny bit, and so I just go on him. I know that because it's Gragas, he has a lot of damage and also a displacement so that he can ulti Ziggs away from the tower, so it's actually a fairly easy gank for us. But Elise happened to be nearby, which is quite obvious because they did their blue buff, and she flashes to use her repel. She picks out Gragas, who probably should have died to the Ziggs anyway. I have to use my flash to get away, but still, that's not that bad of a situation because at the end of the day, it's very even, basically, but also Ziggs lost the blue buff, and Ziggs without blue is not really that scary, and also because our blue is still up, Gragas has a chance of taking that blue, so it's all well and good. And also, to be honest, I don't mind trading kills like that because I like getting the kills myself. I know I'd rather us both get a kill than neither of us get a kill because I have faith in myself to snowball and to carry the game. So unfortunately, because I recalled, Elise actually took away our blue buff, which is a smart play by her. She knew that because I was low on health, they probably wouldn't be around to stop this, and because Gragas had died, that he wouldn't be around to stop it. So I'm looking to actually invade her red buff though, because I know that we are stronger as a group. Me and Gragas are stronger than Elise and Ziggs, so I don't need to be too afraid, and I want to keep applying this pressure. I don't want to waste this pressure. If we're stronger than the enemy team, why would we let that go to waste and let them bully us around? So what I'm doing here is I know where Elise is, and like this isn't sneaky. There's nothing sneaky about this play whatsoever, but I'm making the play because there's nothing they can do to stop me. Now I'm standing here, I'm taking a lot of damage, and I'm kind of getting beats on, but I'm taking it because I know that Gragas is around. I'm looking at, if Gragas wasn't, like people in the comments here, I can already predict the YouTube comments saying things like, oh, you're so lucky Gragas was here. If this was in my Bronze 5 games, Gragas would never have come. It's like, well, yeah, but I knew Gragas was coming. I knew he would be here. So that's why I did it. I wouldn't have made that play if Gragas wasn't there because I couldn't 1v1 Elise in that situation. Elise is very, very good at 1v1ing people. She's pretty much one of the best duelers in the game, especially burst duelers early on. So I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have Gragas there. And so we get the kill on Elise because she got greedy to stay around, but I knew we could brute force this just because we're so much stronger than them, and Gragas knew that he could come and help me because he's not going to die to Ziggs or anything. Ziggs isn't going to come off and kill him because he's stronger than Ziggs, so there's no reason for him to be afraid either. And I had communicated with him in pings and in chat. I remember typing this. I communicated I wanted to make that play, so that's what we did. Now I look to go gank bot here with my ulti. The reason why I was ganking bot, basically when you're playing Pantheon, your ulti is what makes you a very, very unique character, a very, very strong and powerful character. So whenever your ult is up, you want to try and do as much as you can with it. And that's the same with a lot of junglers who have very, very high impact ults. So people like Nocturne, people like Vi, when your ult's off cooldown, you want to try and make a play. And that's exactly what I was doing with this bot lane. My ult was off cooldown. I saw that there was a decent gank going bot. You don't need much of a window of opportunity either to slut drop on someone as Pantheon. So you get in there, you drop on them, and we picked up a 2-for-1 there, which is really good for us. And also, if you saw, I left the kill for Gragas too. I didn't want to take that necessarily. Now Gragas is trying to dive the Ziggs and kind of goes a bit unsuccessful, but look at my damage now onto this Elise. It's huge. Like, my damage now is pretty ridiculous because I've got this Elder Lizard item. So my E and my Q now do extra true damage as well, and also I just, you know, the AD it gives and stuff, I just have a lot of damage basically. And now this is a good opportunity for us to try and do dragon here. The reason why this is a good dragon play is because Elise was really, really low from what we just did to her mid. Ziggs was really, really low for what we just did to him mid. and our bot lane is pushed out. So we're in a good position in both mid and bot, and their enemy jungler isn't going to be able to contest this. So we can take this away for free. The only downside is that because it's still quite early on into the game, like I can't solo this obviously. I need my teams to help me, and I'm going to take quite a lot of damage too. So you have to be a bit careful, but it's a free dragon for us, so we pick that up. Now this is something which is quite annoying when you're playing Pantheon. If you leap onto someone and your leap gets interrupted, you don't actually stun your target, which I find is actually kind of peculiar. I would figure that, you know, as soon as you've clicked on that person, that they're stunned. Like that's the way it goes. Like after, that's what I would have thought would have happened, but it doesn't happen that way. I'm not complaining. I actually think that's quite a smart mechanic to have in the game. I don't think it should stun them, but I just thought it would stun them. But I was wrong with that. But anyway, my ult is up now. So again, I want to keep my eyes peeled for an opportunity to use that ult. I couldn't do it bot lane because they were under the tower. However, it looks like they're fighting now, so this probably would be a good opportunity to go bot. And so we'll see what I do now. I'm looking at bot and thinking this would be a good time to go in. However, they do have a lot of people there, so I probably don't want to do that actually. The fact that they had 4 people bot lane is kind of risky. So instead, I'm just going to try and pick up this free kill here onto Elise. I've got my Moby boots, which with the nerf means that now in combat you run actually really slowly. You run as slow as you would with just tier 1 boots. And I actually jump onto her spiderlings here so that I'm in range to Q her, because I figure if she's just going for the execute, then I just want to hit her. Like, I don't need to kill her, I just need to hit her. And so here I'm just... She has nowhere to run now. Like, she's dead. I don't want to take the kill because I want to leave it to, like... I've got enough kills myself now. I'm 4-0-3. I'm kind of leaving these kills to my laners just to help them snowball. I could take all the kills and try it myself, but I don't need to. And I figure, you know what? I'll give my allies a kill. We'll see if they can carry it, and that sets my allies up to be in the best situation possible for them to carry the game as well. So it's not, the game isn't 100% resting on my shoulders. I kind of delegate the responsibility to a certain extent when I give over kills, and because I trust this Gragas because of the way he's played this game and the way he's been making plays with me. So I'm like, yeah, I'll give you some kills, whatever. Now what we saw with the drop top there was that was a bad drop by me, because firstly I was out of mana and secondly LeBlanc was out of mana, so we're not going to get anything out of that drop. I shouldn't have done it. It was a waste of my cooldown, but the cooldown isn't really, no. In all honesty, I just wanted to kind of show my face and see whether I could make her blow her ult or her summon or something, but I actually misplaced my ulti as well, so it was just horrific by all standards. So that kind of sucked, but whatever, it's not the end of the world. Now I was looking at my Gragas here as well. He was just playing around with Elise. I don't really want to go in do anything here. There was no need to, but we can see if something comes up here because we've got a good ward here. So if Elise walks into her jungle, we can jump on her and kill her. But here Gragas uses his ult he uses his ult and it just kind of flicks Ziggs into his tower. And I see as soon as he's used his ult, I can get in range with a flash W combo to finish him off. So that's what we do. Like, these deaths under tower for Ziggs are really bad. Like, he's going to lose so much here. And because of my blue buff was respawned and the time in the game, because Elise mirrored my path basically, I kind of figure that her red buff is going to be up soon now. So I just go and check it with my trinket ward. It happens to actually be up, so that's good, and I get to take that away for free. And now because I'm heading this way anyway, I may as well go show my face top lane and get a gank onto Shyvana. She's pretty low on health, so I can try and do something here. Now, I don't really think she's going to be able to get away from me because she has no flash, and not no flash. She has no ulti and she's kind of low on health, and I have red buff, so she's not going to get away from me. There's no way for her to get away from me. So when she does flash, she's got nowhere to go basically, so I just kill her. And you see my spirit, she did almost 500 damage to her because it crit her with my E. And now, as you're noticing here as well, I was going to run away from this lane with and just let LeBlanc farm, which is nice, you know, like, oh, I'll be the nice guy and give you the farm, but that would have actually been a bad idea for me to do. And the reason why I went back, and then, as some of you might think, I just like taxed the lane. It wasn't really taxing the lane. What I was doing was I was pushing the lane out because LeBlanc had no mana, and LeBlanc isn't really a very fast wave clearer anyway. I mean, she's not bad, especially with her ult. She's actually really good, but she didn't have her mana, so she's only going to be pushing basically with her basic attacks, which is very slow, and so she wants to shove that wave out, go back and recall, so it resets the wave and then it doesn't freeze and all that horrible stuff. So I go back into the wave just to help her push it out, so that, and now her lane is in a decent place. Like the enemy wave is pushing into our wave, so she's got that lane where she wants it, just because she was able to push it out earlier. So now I've got my ult up again, and I've got my eyes set on this bot lane. I think this bot will be a perfect place to drop, and that's where it probably looks like where I'm going to go now. Yep. Dropping onto bot, and we want to focus this Vayne now, because we don't want Vayne to turn around and insta-kill our Caitlyn like she did the time previous. So we get that nice easy kill onto Vayne, and then because Blitzcrank is tanking the tower, I can get a nice easy kill onto Annie. So this bot lane isn't really doing that well. I mean, a Caitlyn versus Vayne should absolutely decimate. Caitlyn should be destroying this Vayne, because Caitlyn has such huge range. Vayne doesn't have any range. It should be easy peasy for this Caitlyn just to be bullying Vayne, but that's not happening. Like, they're equal in CS, and Vayne even had more kills. But I've done a fair amount bot lane, and with that double kill there as well, it's all coming together to help carry. I'm not saying, these guys are garbage and trash or anything like that. I'm not, I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, like, basically, just if people are watching these videos and think, oh, you just, you got good teammates, it's easy to carry when you've got good teammates. It's not really necessarily the case. I mean, if you look at the lanes, they're all very, very even. This Shyvana has died twice to ganks, and she's still got the same CS as our LeBlanc. Our bot lane has got a lot of help from me, and they still got the same CS. And so it's not really. I think basically what I'm trying to say is that the impact I'm having in this game is quite very influential. Basically, I'm not getting carried. Well, obviously I'm not getting carried, but my teammates are. If I were playing bad, basically, then I think my teammates would probably be playing. We would probably be losing this game quite hard, basically. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that. I'm just saying that with people who maybe question or not whether these games are actually hard or whatever. I'm kind of rambling now. You guys know what I mean. But I've kind of got my eyes on this bot lane, because I'm thinking, maybe this would be a good time to go in, but I shouldn't go in here. Like, if I went in here, I'll most likely die, because the burst between an Annie and a Vayne is huge. And Caitlyn was out of mana as well, so she couldn't really do too much to help me. She could use her basic attacks, which is nice, because she's Caitlyn. She has a Bloodthirster, so they hurt, but it's her damage is quite lowered without that mana pool. And I think she'd be very scared as well going anywhere near an Annie if she doesn't have her net up. But again, my ult's off cooldown, so I'm looking to use it again. Now, this window of opportunity here for this kill is very slim. Like, my bot lane weren't even really anywhere near their bot lane, and they weren't even really out of position at all. Like, they were right under their tower. They weren't out of position. So the fact that we can pick up these kills here is just, like, I mean, it just goes to show how strong Pantheon is, and because I'm quite fed as well. When you are snowballing and when you're ahead, I mean, that was basically just a flat-out tower dive to kill 2 people. And you want to be doing these aggressive plays. You need to be pushing your boundaries, because when you are strong and you can have a lot of pressure, you can get away with stuff like this. Because, these guys, you have enough damage, you have enough items to do these things. And so you want to be doing these things. There's no point, if you are able to do... to have high impact, why would you play the game at a medium impact? If you're able to really get roaring, why would you simmer through the game? You don't want to be doing that, because you're just wasting your potential, you're wasting your power. Getting fed, this is like a huge thing of especially of lower elo or of what people complain about, is that they can get fed. Like, getting fed is only one part of the game. They'll say, like, I go 10-0 but I don't win. Well, going 10-0 is only the first stage in winning the game. Like, getting fed is one part of it, but that just sets you up to then win the game. It's like saying, I don't really know how to put it. Let's say, what's a good analogy? So say you are like a builder, and you're like, oh, I've got a cement and a power drill and loads of nails and hammers and planks of wood and stone, but I just can't build a house. It's like, well, okay, so you've got the tools that you need to build that house, but you can't build it. And that's what people who get fed and still lose games do. It's not always the way. Sometimes, you can get fed but just not be able to win games, and that happens. But really, getting fed is the tool, and then you want to be using those tools to then win the game. And that's what I'm doing now. Now that I've been fed, I've been given the tools to win. And so now I'm trying my hardest to implement those tools and turn it into a victory. Now I'm just kind of like pushing this mid wave here, because I actually really want to take this mid tower down. We're really far ahead. But we're 20 minutes in and we have no towers, and we need these towers to help end the game and to really put this game out of reach. Basically, that's what we want to be doing. So we need to push. However, against the flavor of the month top laners right now, mid laners, sorry, not top laners, are like LeBlanc and like Gragas and Ziggs. All these people have very, very good wave clear, so it's actually really hard to push versus them. Now, I'm sorry if any of you guys missed that play right there. It just happened. Basically, LeBlanc just got 1v1 by Shyvana, and we just came in to mop up. And this is actually a mistake by me because I was spending too much time taking their red buff that I didn't actually... I probably could have saved LeBlanc or maybe got the kill without having to use my flash, but whatever, we pick it up in the end. Now, this Ziggs is staying around on really low health, and I see he's on low health, and my ult is up, so I'm yeah, okay. So I'm going to go in and just drop on his face, and this is an extremely aggressive play, and it's quite risky because we don't really know where Elise is, although we did just see her pop up on the minimap at the red buff. So as soon as I drop tower, I run back towards the safety of my lane. If I had more mana, then we could turn around and kill this Elise really, really easily. But I'm out of mana, so we're not going to be able to do that. So there's no point risking. I mean, I'm 10-0. Like, if I die, I'm going to be worth so much gold and so much experience. So, but yeah, Elise is staying around now as well, and it's not really. She's in a pretty sour position, and the fact that I don't know why Blitzcrank is top laner. This is a pretty random roam. Pretty funny the fact that he's even there, but considering it's 2v1 bot lane now because Caitlyn's just on her own. Against Vayne and Annie. I don't know why Blitz is deciding to roam top of all places, but we get a kill because he was there, so that's kind of funny, I guess. But yeah, if we had mana, we wouldn't have needed Blitzcrank help, and we could have taken that ourselves. But this is a good move as well by LeBlanc. She's seen that we're top lane. She doesn't need to go top lane, so now she's decided instead to roam to bot lane and pick up the kills there. So that was a good play. Let's see if this... Oh wow, what a man. What a manly play. Flashing over the wall to give vision for Caitlyn. Perfect. I'm looking at the items that I picked up now. I went for a Old Lizard, which is obvious reasons. Moby Boots, just so I can run around the map as a jungler and have high impact. It's also very good as a snowballing item, which is what I've really been doing all game. Because of how ahead I've been, obviously. And I went for a Black Cleaver. The reason I went for that is because it gives you a lot of damage. It gives you some Armour Pen, which is even more damage. It gives you CDR, which is very nice just for spamming your abilities, but also for your ulti, so the ulti is off cooldown more frequently, which is anytime you have a high impact ult, CDR is a very nice stat because it means you can use it more frequently, and you know, all that. You know, that's kind of self-explanatory though. I guess I don't really need to say too much about that. And also, though, the kind of the biggest thing is it shreds armor basically. Dealing physical damage to an enemy champion reduces their armor by 5% for 4 seconds, stacks up to 5 times for a total of 25%. So anytime you do physical damage to someone, you apply a debuff. And Pantheon's E hits for, is it 3 times? Yeah, Pantheon's E hits for 3 times. So whenever you use your E on someone, you instantly apply 15% of a armor debuff, and then your Q will apply another 5%. So you basically, on Pantheon, you instantly get pretty much full stacks on your Black Cleaver, which is really, really, really nice. And including the fact that your E is AoE, you can apply a huge a huge armor debuff. Now this ult here is a bit random. It's actually very, very risky jumping onto... there's no point chasing Annie and Vayne because they'll turn around and they'll blow me up pretty much instantly. Well, at least I need to be very careful of that happening. So that was pretty much a wasted ult, but I kind of like to think... There's that phrase, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and I kind of like to think of that when I'm using these ults like Pantheons. Like, you don't want to waste it, obviously, and that was a waste, so it was a bad play by me, but at the same time, being overly aggressive in these kind of things is not always a bad idea. So, for the last time that I want to explain is this Banshee's Veil, and the reason why I've got that is because Shyvana top is a lot of magic damage, Annie is a lot of magic damage, Ziggs obviously is a lot of magic damage, and then they have an Elise jungle, which is even more magic damage. So, loads of reasons for me to want to be buying some MR, and the Banshees means that they can't just like engage onto me with a, you know, like an Annie Stun or something like that, or a Cocoon. So it's just, it's a nice item, gives you some health, gives you some MR. It's pretty much the perfect item versus this team. Now, unfortunately, Caitlyn dies here. She gets caught out by the Shyvana in the Vayne combo. I'm just standing here fighting them. I'm a bit low on mana, which is pretty much the... Well, it means I'm not going to be able to pick up any kill. But I know my team's around, so I don't really need to be afraid of anything. So I can just like stand around. I can fight people. It's cool. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm just going to speed this up because this is... Oh, I can't speed this up. What's going on? Why can't I speed you up? Okay, I can speed up like that, apparently. Oh, okay, I was pressing the wrong button. That would probably be why I could speed it up. So, yeah. Now, the game really just comes down to closing it out. We took the bot towers, but we haven't taken the mid tower, which is pretty much the most important one here. And this Vayne is just getting caught out and just going to die again. And there's nothing too much to say about that. And we just really want to be. I mean, maybe I'm fry cunning a bit too much here, just getting kills as opposed to taking objectives, because that's really what we want to be doing. We need to be taking down objectives here. However, at the same time, because I'm individually fed and the rest of my team is fairly fed, but they're not really, it's nothing really to write home about from their point of view, I can have the most amount of impact possible when I'm on my own doing things rather than grouping up in a fight. If I'm individually very, very strong, then the more people you put up against me, the easier it is to shut me down. So by that logic, the less people up against me, the harder it is to shut me down. So I want to be in those situations where I am not really fighting huge team fights. And that's also just a downside of Pantheon in general. He's not really that amazing in team fights. But that was a really, really good flash grab by Blitzcrank there. Yeah, Blitz. No, I almost said Blizzard. I'm not quite sure Blizzard is the champion in this game. But yeah, a good flash grab by Blitzcrank just to pick out the vein here. And this is what I was talking about by we wanted to siege. We wanted to... Our siege is not too bad, but it kind of depends how it goes. It can be... It's not bad, but also at the same time, their defense is also very good just because of Zigzag. One champion can just stall out the game so much because of how good he is at defending wave clears. So it can be a bit difficult for us to take down these towers. But we do have Gragas, who's good at wave clearing and good at poking. LeBlanc, who is really good at poking. And Kaden, who's decent at poking and also decent at taking down the tower itself. So our siege is not that bad. And also, well, what you'll see is that I need to... Basically, I am the engage on this team. Just if I drop in somewhere and then that's the engage and that's the fight. Like right here, this is a really, really good engage. There is... You know, this is... These plays here... These engage, these fights, this is what we need to kill the enemies to, you know, if they're dead, then we can siege for free and we can take down towers, which is hopefully what we can do here. I mean, our mini wave isn't in the best position, but it should be close enough. So here now we get another tower. And even here we're taking down enemies as well, just because we're so individually strong that we can just kind of run in between their towers and do these things. Now, if I remember correctly, this is where I like go over the top with greed. And I take about 2,000 damage worth of tower hits, and unfortunately I get shut down. 14-0-12. That was my my top record, and then I get killed. So that kind of sucks. But I suppose the way this game was going, it would have to be greed to. That would be the last thing that would be taking me down, I suppose. And yeah, so the items that I built now, though, I just went for a Last Whisper just for even more damage. Like I want to be a bit tanky because I'm pretty much the only tanky person on our team. And I am the engage. And if you're a champion who wants to initiate and engage things, you don't really want to be that squishy because you're engaged and you'll die instantly. It's more important for you to be a bit tanky. So I like to build Pantheon with at least 1 or 2 tank items. But because I was so far ahead this game, I've decided to get a Last Whisper instead of a tank item at this stage of the game. But because we took down all these towers, we can now just take this and hit for free. Like, they can't do anything to stop us. Like, we're just so much stronger than them. There's no need to fanny around. Just take the stuff that, you know, it's free. We may as well take it. And for some reason, like, there's a dragon comes out of nowhere. Reminds me of the days when I used to play Skyrim, when you just be like walking around and suddenly there's a dragon in the sky. And that's pretty much what just happened there, except this time the dragon gets goon squatted by 5 people as opposed to making you rage quit, killing you, and losing your save file in Skyrim. No, you know, that never happened to me or anything like that. I'm not bitter. No, that definitely didn't happen ever. No, but I don't want to talk about it, guys. Let's move on. And so now we're just sieging in their base. Like we are getting quite poked. As you see, the reason why we're getting poked is this Ziggs has been a real pain in the ass, and he's just firing bombs at us. And now I'm kind of trying to set up a trap here. I think that if they see that we've disappeared, we've run back into the jungle, they think that we're going to go and take that top tower, so maybe they'll try and rotate and something like that. However, so I thought I could catch someone, but I see here is another good time to engage because the enemies were kind of a bit far out of their base. Not far at all. Like I say, with Pantheon, especially when you're far ahead, you don't need much of a window of opportunity before you want to engage, which is what I saw there. There wasn't a real window, but I took it anyway because, you know, that's just the way it is on Pantheon. You don't need that. You don't need much of a window. You just want to be jumping in. So we get another good engage, and these kills, all of these like tiny skirmishes that we're winning, we're always getting something out of them. If you notice, when we're fighting, when we're getting the kills, we always manage to move it on and take something from it. And as this replay comes to an end, I actually just realised I never actually said the masteries I was using in this game. So I'm using 21.9, but They'll be in the description. They're always in the description, so you can check that out for yourself. But yeah, that was my Pantheon jungle commentary, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just giving you a kind of a flavour of how you can carry really, really hard by playing Panth, and how strong he is in general, and just he's a lot of fun to play as well. So I would recommend him. He's a very good champion. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to me too. Check me out on Facebook, on Twitter, catch me streaming on Twitch, and all those things will be in the description, guys. You know that. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next video.